What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Got an updated inventory video. I'll just be going through the eBay store real quick, going through some of the newer pickups, and I guess probably just through everything I have since I haven't done one of these in like a month or so. So let's go ahead and get started. Obviously, I'll leave a link to this in the description so you can go ahead, sort through everything by yourself and check out, see if there's anything you like on there. So as far as the design of everything, basically still looks the same. Got all the categories and everything out here. So post-war baseball graded, pre-war, that's got some raw and graded. All the other sports, basketball, football, hockey, anything else I may come across, autographs and raw stuff. Here's sorted by newly listed, and so let me see, I'll go ahead and sort by newly listed and I guess just sort of scroll through everything. Like I said, it's been about a month or so since I've done one of these. I think it was before Strongsville, so we'll go ahead and sort of give you guys a look at what the newer inventory looks like. Picked up this Burke Ross maze last week at the Front Row card show in Vegas. It's a really nice looking 1.5. Obviously it's got the crease, but as far as centering and color, which are both pretty tough for that set, it's got both of those. I thought that was an interesting one. Just a mix of a newer stuff, I guess. Picked up lots of these 50 Bowman PSA 8s. 58 Aaron autographed. I got that one on Facebook or Instagram, one of those. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, lots of this stuff here, at least the most newly listed ones are from Vegas. And then there's a handful of shows kind of before that. So nothing too crazy special, just kind of a mix of, just stuff, just popular stuff. Here you can see a nice Koufax rookie, PSA 4, Pete Maravich rookie, E95 Seacott's pretty nice. That one presents pretty nice. Front's really nice. There's no creasing or anything. Just got some like scuffing, paper loss on the back. Front faces up pretty well, so that's just a cool one from a tougher set. Some other stuff mixed in here, some SGC. One of the bigger pickups from Vegas, I guess probably the biggest, second most expensive, would have been this 34 Gehrig. That's a nice looking one, pretty well centered, 2.5, 34 Gehrig. I don't know, that one was really cool. I like getting that one. One of my favorite looking cards. Picked up a lot of SGC graded stuff in there. Like there's this Jackie rookie, some 56s. I think I had 3 or 4 56 Aarons that I just got in. The Maze. A good mix of stuff. Here's another cool one, Venezuelan Mutual. Doesn't pop up too much, the 59s. And this one looks pretty nice. I mean, it's got pretty good presentation. Anytime you can get a Venezuelan that's not in a 1 or, have a bunch of back damage, they tend to jump up in price a bit pretty quick. So that was a pretty cool one. What else we got here? Lots of just pretty standard stuff like 60s, 50s and 60s Maze and Mantle and Aaron, that type of stuff. So nothing like super, super unique, I wouldn't say, at least from this past show. But as we go back a little bit further, I think there's some more unique type items. Here was the key pickup from Vegas. This one, 52 Maze, PSA 3, newer label. That's a pretty good looking card. It's got nice color and everything. So that was another one of the big ones from Vegas. But other than that, just lots of the same sort of stuff. And then here, I think this Ewing would have been the last one from that show. So before that, we get back into just some other random. I got an SGC order back. A couple Grover Alexanders were in there. Some tougher sets to come across. So those are pretty cool. Gordie Howe, which I just realized is spelled wrong. So I'll have to go ahead and correct that listing here in a bit. Some other stuff from the SGC order. Lots of these, like a couple of these I just wanted graded because I tried to sell them raw for a little bit. Didn't have a lot of luck. I sold most of the other ones, but had these 3 left, so I figured I'd send in those gold coins. This Campy came back pretty well. I was hoping for a 2. I didn't really think it had a shot at a 2. So it's got some creases in here that you can kind of see. But SGC was nice too. I was sort of thinking it was going to be a 1.5, but hoping for a 2. And, you know, it presents well enough that it's a nice looking 2. It was just sort of the severity of the creases. I thought they might technically give it a lower number grade there. Fox and just kind of some miscellaneous stuff. 36 Chickle, Rogers Hornsby. Some other stuff here just from a local show. Another Koufax rookie and a 4. Maris rookie. Some Mays and just kind of your typical stuff that you're going to see. It's a nice Magic Johnson I got in a trade. Some other cool ones. Hank Aaron Perez Steel autograph. Love those Perez Steels anytime I can find those. I know those are always cool. A couple raw ones. I haven't picked up too much raw stuff recently, but I'll still find it when I can. Trying to do at least a little bit nicer shape raw. It's tough because you don't want all of it to be all beat up and creased, but then if it's something that would grade above a 4 or a 5, it's hard to justify selling it raw. I mean, most of those have already been sent in and gotten graded, so it leaves raw stuff just kind of in a weird space that, I don't know, it's hard to keep a ton of raw inventory in. There's some other cool stuff from recently. I got this Eddie Plank. This one was from the Pittsburgh video. This thing's awesome. Nice 1915 Cracker Jack. Good centering, good color, newer label. That's an awesome card right there. Tough to get those in a decent grade. This is one that this exact card hasn't sold. It was the last sale of a PSA 4. I can't remember when it was. I think it was a little over a year ago. So let me go ahead and check. PSA 4. Yeah, I guess it was almost exactly a year ago to the date. Did about $5,000. So the Cracker Jack market is up a little bit since then. It's tough to put a value on. I think it's more than a $5,000 card. It's hard to put an exact number on, but I thought that was a reasonable price to stick on it. Some other cool stuff from recently. I got too many Gretzky rookies at the moment. I need to move some of these if possible. But yeah, so I got a handful of those. I'm sure we'll see some more coming up. Kuzi rookie, that's a cool one. Red Heart Mantle, I have 2 of these. The other one's a 6.5, but then this 7 is pretty nice. Got that one in the same deal that I got the Cracker Jack Plank, actually. So both of those are from Pittsburgh. Daryl Strawberry. Very, very popular card. This one is cool. T201 double folders, Mordecai Brown, and a 7. Pretty tough grade. You can find these in sort of 4s and 5s and even 6s. I mean, once you get above a 6, it starts to get to be pretty tough to find those. So I thought that was a cool one. I definitely like the SGC slabs better when it's a more of an impressive grade. You want the grade to stand out a little bit. Like here, you see on the 55 Bowman Mantle 3, I don't like the number being so big. But then if you got a more impressive number like a 7 or an 8 or a higher grade, I think it looks cooler to have the SGC with the big old grade up there. Now, most of these are some Pittsburgh pickups. Bowman Mantle, Banks. It's a cool second-year Banks PSA 8. Pretty well centered on that one. So that was most of the stuff from Pittsburgh. And then there's like some autographs in here. Really nice Gretzky rookie, another one. This is at least the nicest of the ones I have right now. Even for a 7.5, I thought that was a pretty strong copy. So the borders are really, really clean on that one. Some rookie autographs. Had a handful more of these, but those sold pretty quick. Just some other similar cards to the Mazeroski and the Palmer. Other stuff like that. The Sayers rookie. Just sort of a mix of stuff. The Johnston Cookies Aaron. That's a bit of a newer one. Came in a big Aaron and Mays deal where I bought basically a run of Aaron's and Mays over on Instagram. Still have that one left, and I still have the Aaron rookie left. So I guess sold through some of the cheaper ones first and have the big ones left over, which I'm not too mad about that. Nice Schmidt rookie in an 8. Get down into some of these other ones. Here's the Aaron rookie I was talking about. This thing is really, really nice. I don't know why PSA Scan has this little black dot here that's not even actually on the card, so that's kind of frustrating because it doesn't actually have that in person. But this thing's gorgeous, 5.5. I mean, really, really strong centering, at least left to right. It's off a little bit top to bottom, but the color is every bit as nice as it looks here in these scans. But yeah, a little bit frustrating that it appears to have a print dot that's not actually on the card. Might have to just take my own photos for that one. See what else we got here. Like I said, obviously there will be a link to all this in the video description, so you guys can go ahead and check it out. Scroll for yourself if you see anything, want to take a closer look, because obviously I'm not going to stop and zoom in on every card. I also have my email and my social media contacts below the video, so you can go ahead and reach out to me, send me a message, either on email or however else you want to get a hold of me. I'm not hard to find. So if you see something you like, you can message me elsewhere and get the off eBay price, I guess. This is a cool mix of stuff. I mean, I didn't really sort by categories this time, but these are all input into the correct categories, where if you're looking for just post-war or just pre-war or football or whatever, you can navigate it. It's not too hard to find, but figured I'd mix them all in here. We'd have a little bit of everything, a little unique spread when we're scrolling through everything. My cutoff for like years that I'll do is basically anything pre-2000. I mean, I'll buy anything in the 80s and 90s as long as it makes sense, like 84 Ripken and a 10. I mean, it's hard to say no to that, or something like a Bo Jackson rookie and a 10. I mean, that's still a $350 to $400 plus card. So I mean, those are really popular. I try to keep those in. I mean, they're more sellable than even a lot of the vintage stuff is, which is pretty crazy. But it's it's stuff that I'd like to have customers for as many cards as possible. So I like to keep inventory for everyone, at least as much as I can. So we got a good mix of everything in here. I'm trying to think of where most of this was from. I guess there wasn't a show video for lots of these. Here's an interesting one, the Dandy Mantle cut from the ad sheet from like a store display. So they had a big stand-up display in the store for the potato chips and some advertisements of players on there, and that's what this mantle is cut from. SGC does not slab them anymore. They have in the past, but they won't slab them anymore, so that's frustrating. But it's still a cool piece. I mean, one that not many people are going to have. There's only a handful of those in existence. Here's into some of the Strongsville pickups. That's where I got a majority of these. Like, here's a nice Tris speaker, 33 Gaudi. It's a nice one. Really bright colors and everything on that. Pretty good corners too. Autogram rookie. I picked up a handful of those at the Strongsville show too. Red Heart Mantle, a couple of those at the moment. But yeah, a handful of autograms. I don't know, Strongsville was great. That was a great show for buying and selling. I got a ton of new stuff here. Lots of these pickups here will be from the Strongsville show. Some really unique ones in here. I know a couple of Opeachy rookies. Got the Munson there. There's a Joe Torre. I mean, not a rookie, but still just those 60s and 70s Opeachys. Another autogram rookie. Here's a cool one. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce it, but a Reggie Jackson rookie, sort of a tougher set. There's only a handful of these. This is the highest graded one. There's a PSA 8, and then there's also this SGC 8. None graded higher at either of the companies. But that's a cool one. That's a unique one that just does not pop up. I think there's 2 sales ever of it on VCP. So that's a tougher one to value. Let me see if I can find it on here. There it it is. Yeah, there's only 2 sales ever on VCP. There's a authentic for 1600, and then there is PSA 8 for 1500. So tough one to value. You know, I mean, you can lean more towards the PSA 8 sale, or you can lean more towards the authentic sale. So bottom line is, I guess it's the cheapest one out there. So that's one that you just kind of throw a number on and wait, see what happens. It may sell right away for something like 2,500. It may be one that you have for a couple months. We'll see on that one, but it's just a cool card. I like those unique ones that are tougher to put values on. Polo Grounds Mathewson, got this one from Sammy Thunder. So shout out to Sammy. I think that was in the Strongsville video too. So that was a cool one. It's a cool set. That was Polo Grounds. And we'll scroll through whatever else is in here. Some of these get back into, I think, where the last video was, not too long after this. These are all still some Strongsville stuff here. Really, really sharp 52 Bowman Mantle. It's got these stupid print lines on it. I mean, the corners on this thing are legit. I mean, they're really, really sharp. And the color is great on this one. Sucks about those print lines. I mean, this thing would be 6 or 7 all day if it weren't for those print lines. That's a gorgeous card. That was one I was really excited to get in Strongsville, and I picked that one up at trade night. These are all still Strongsville pickups. What else we got here? Here's a unique one. Colgan Proof, or Colgan's Chips Square Proof. Thought that was pretty cool. Fred Clark. So these are the proofs for the, you know, the more round Colgan's chips. Not too many of those out there. I got that one, I think, at an REA auction at like a steal of a price. I got that one really cheap. Nice Cracker Jack Chief Bender. That was a cool one. Tons and tons of stuff from Strongsville. 37 O-Pee-Chee Fox. Just a mix of some other stuff. Snyder, there's one of my favorite pickups from the Strongsville show. Kind of shocked I still have this one, to be honest. Really, really nice looking Snyder. That one's pretty sweet. I think there was just a good sale on this one too. So let me see. What did I have on it? 3,500. I think there was just a good sale on this one for like a PSA 6. Yeah. Yeah, this older PSA 6 just did $3,000, so I don't know. I'm happy with that one. I'm kind of surprised I still have it. That's just a great looking card. I mean, the color is like really, really nice. Obviously, the centering is nice. That's a great card, so I don't mind having that one at all, being a nicer grade. Some other stuff. 52 Mantle reprint. Quite a wide range of stuff in here. Gordie Howe auto, Elgin Baylor rookie. I think this is about where I did the last pickups video, or the last inventory video. This would have been right after Phoenix here. So I guess I can sort of blow by some of these. There's a nice Eckersley O-Pee-Chee PSA 9. That's a tough one. Nice Dr. J rookie. I have a couple of those at the moment. Really, really nice 53 Bowman Mantle. I mean, dead centered. Fantastic card. That's an awesome one. Let's see what else we got. 54 Bowmans. Some mix of stuff here from Chicago and other shows from earlier this year. So most of my stuff turns over pretty quick, you know, within a couple months, probably 2 to 3 months for the majority of it. Then we can start scroll back and get through some of the older inventory. I mean, older as in like, you know, more than 2 or 3 months. I'm not sure what all made the last video, but then we'll just probably just end up going through everything and just sort of give a full-on update what everything looks like. Here's the Yount 75 O-Pee-Chee auto. That's another one of those that might just sit for a little bit until right person comes along. E92 Mathewson, that's a cool one. Some 1800s, Lawson's Game. Yeah, no, these are into a little bit of older inventory. These would have been like December. I picked up most of these, so I've had these for a few months here. Some mix of cool, cheaper autos, Eckersley, Marischal, some other autos, some raw stuff, Koufax rookie, Elgin Baylor rookie. Really nice leaf Bobby Dorr, 7.5. That's a cool one. Nice looking high grade leaf there. Jim Brown auto. This one I'm just going to have to break down, send it into PSA. Hopefully gets, I mean, ideally it would be a 2.5. I think it'll be closer to like a 2 with the crease there. A nicely centered 2 with hopefully a 10 autograph too. I mean, that's just as important. These were, I was buying a lot more raw stuff some point last year. I don't know when these would be from, but probably November, December type, most of these at least. If you guys are in the Midwest area coming up this weekend, I'll be set up in Shipshewana, Indiana. So I'll be at that show. Make sure to stop by. It's a great show, man. One of the better shows in the country. Definitely stop by. If you guys are anywhere near the Midwest area, it's worth a drive if you can get there. Obviously the holiday weekend, but it's Friday and Saturday, 2-day show. Stop by, say what's up. It'll be a good show. I'll be there. Anything you see here, you can catch me at the show. And if I still have it, we can work out a deal in person too. Yeah, so it looks like we made it through everything in the inventory there. So if you saw anything you like and you're going to be at the show, stop by Shipshewana. I'll be there. Or like I said, shoot me an email. Go ahead and follow the page too. If you guys have an eBay account, go ahead and just add it to your list of sellers in case anything ever pops up that you'd be interested in. I'll keep trying to do these, whenever it sort of feels like it makes sense. Ideally, at least once a month, maybe more, maybe less. But just sort of keep these videos popping up once the inventory gets refreshed a little bit and sort of show off some of the new stuff that we got for you guys. So that being said, I appreciate everyone watching, and I will see you all next time. Got a Shipshewana video coming soon, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you later.